Hello everyone, welcome back for more Neyyah. I had some more thoughts about this game while I was away. While I realized the next thing to do is probably in the Scarlidi Towers, I'm just going to briefly go back to Litsu Island one more time. Because here's what I'm kind of thinking at this point in the game. So, up to this point, in this game, the puzzles have not really been hard. They have largely been quite easy. Maybe that's unique to me, right? Maybe everybody else is struggling with these puzzles, but I have not had a difficult time with these puzzles. They have been straightforward. The difficulty of this game has only come from how much surface area, how much, ground area there is to cover, right? And so it's very easy to just overlook areas or perhaps not fully consider an implication of some particular thing. This late in the game, I am really starting to get the sense that I must just be missing click points. Like, to have this many inventory items and still not really know what to do with so many of them. Like, I have the spores, which do not go the place that I would think they'd go. I would think they would go into the, the Jituki portal shift, the place that, we can shift the Minerva Point portal to, the little container there. But they do not go there. And on that container, there is specifically a mushroom icon. There's an icon of mushrooms, like the icon of this area. Which to me, it feels like a strong hint that I should be like looking around this area, right? For something to use there. Like, obviously, there's the icon of this area with the mushrooms in it. Not just the fact that it has these mushrooms, but specifically the icon that is used for representing this area. I feel like there has to be something here to do where I can pick up a mushroom, because the spores I have in my inventory, they must not be mushroom spores. I don't even know what they are spores for, but it's just, yeah, like, I feel like I am missing a clickable location. But, if I don't discover anything here, then I guess I will go to the Scarlidi Towers, because that's something to do, which is better than nothing, right? But yeah, I just want to do one more very thorough look through this area. Just making sure I've caught everything. Just absolutely everything. I suppose we can't close this door. Which, I don't know that there's much a point in doing that. Obviously, that just tells us it goes off to that tower, which we already know. Yeah, we know this. That was the sign I manually translated. So I've gotten to thinking about the puzzle with the Volk cabinets, and I'm really starting to think that the Felicu Islands just don't have a Volk cabinet, because the screw that we found on Amir's desk in the secret office is a pretty strong indicator to me that he just forgot or didn't get around to installing a Volk cabinet for this area. And it got me to thinking, well, all we really need to do is just deduce the information that would have been in that Volk cabinet. Because the sun position, I kind of imagine, in my head, it feels like midday here. So I'm imagining it would be just straight ahead, like straight above us here. But even if it's not, as far as I can tell, there's only like 3 positions it can be in, so that can be brute forced. We already know the location. We can knock that off the list. It was confirmed by the Velotron machine. It's just a flat line, right? Just a minus sign. So you know that's nothing. These ones have been chopped down. Okay. You know, just really checking, moving my mouse over this to make sure there's nothing that I can click on here or interact with. I suppose I should go back the other way too, just to make sure I get the opposite side of each screen. But yeah, so basically, we know the location, we can brute force the sun position. The only difficult thing is temperature, and the really funny thing about this, I realize, is that if I were here, like in person, like, okay, this whole system, I assume, right, with the vault cabinets, is meant to keep small locks from figuring out this combo, so that if he were to go into the Lodvik Tower, he would not be able to, like, get the correct information. Because the Lodvik Tower is, you know, from what I've read, where we're going to use the information from vault cabinets. So it's all, you know, meant to lock this down so that small locks would not be able to do that, would not be able to enter this information into the Lodvik Tower. But if he were here in person, none of this would be a deterrent, because the locations, you know, granted, he might not know because he doesn't seem to be huge on the culture here, but you'd probably be able to figure them out just by walking around. You know, they're plastered up on buildings everywhere, so it's public information. Or his soldiers would know. I know that he said that his soldiers are dumb because of the heat, but they would probably at least know that. So, you know, that's not hard to figure out. It's just all around the place. And then you have the sun position, which, I mean, you can just look up, right? You can just look up and see where the sun is. You know, it's not private information, it's public information, right? And then the temperature, you would just be able to tell how warm it is, like, you just feel how warm it is. And you could probably guess, you know, within like a 5-degree margin, right? What temperature it is. So none of this would be a deterrent for a real person here, right? The only reason that it is for me is because I'm not actually here, so I cannot just feel what temperature it is. So for me it's an obstacle, but like for small locks or anyone else in this universe, it really isn't. Which feels like a bit of an oversight in the design of this puzzle, but you know, it's what I've been the hand that I've been given, so it's what I have to figure out. Yeah, nothing really here. Okay. I know what that pipe is. That pipe is just for the puzzle to open the door, but I'm just really checking that there is nothing to do. But yeah, I have all these weird items. Like, I have the spores, but I have nothing to do with them currently. I have the knife, which is such a generic item. It sounds like it would be so useful. There are these pipes here. It sounds like it would be a really useful item, but like there's you know, there's nothing that I've encountered, you know, that I can really do with it either. So that's kind of driving me crazy. Like, what am I supposed to do with the knife? I don't know. And stuff like that just makes me think I must be missing click points because the puzzles in this game, for me at least, I mean, you've seen, right? Whenever I encounter something that's like, you know, an inventory item, interactable thing, it's always been the case that, or usually, you know, nearly always, there have been exceptions, but usually it's been the case that I just immediately know what to do with it. So I just cannot understand, I cannot fathom, right, that there would be something so impossible that I just wouldn't. Like, I just have to not be seeing it, you know? I have to not be seeing something. It's the only real explanation. That I'm just missing click points. I was looking for maybe there's like a smaller mushroom, right? One that's just kind of growing on the side of a cliff. Let me go back the other way now. I know this is frustrating. I'm not going to bother looking left or right because I've already done that. I'm just going to look forward, right? I know this must be pain to watch, but just like, yeah, see, I was kind of looking for like a mushroom like this that's closer by, but I don't seem to be able to access any of those. I've been as thorough in this area as I can possibly be. I see spores right there, but I don't think I can do anything to this mushroom. I suppose there is one other thing I can do. It is a long shot, but I can pull this lever again. I think this literally just opens and closes this door. I don't think, because it was in the closed state originally. So I don't think there is anything more to do with this door. I think we are just done with it. I mean, you know what? We'll translate this. Why not? I already did it by hand, but we'll confirm that it says what I got by hand. Yeah, route to harbor. Okay, that is what I got by hand when I did that. So, yep, that's correct. Yeah, I got nothing. That is as thorough as I could possibly be with this area, and I did not discover any click point. I've seen like every screen in that area, as far as I can tell. Okay. Then I guess we will do the obvious thing and go to Scarlidi Towers. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, there is one thing I could think of. I don't remember, maybe I already said this. There is one thing I can think of that pertains to temperature that maybe would tell me the temperature. I remember there being a note by Spore Docks complaining about how hot it is here because it makes his soldiers... It really bothers his soldiers how hot it is here. I believe he was talking about Falitsu Island. So if we have to infer the temperature, we can probably assume that Falitsu Island is the hottest, if I'm remembering correctly that he was just talking about that one area on Falitsu Island. Maybe that letter by Spore Docks would provide an additional clue as to where we could find a precise temperature, because it is at least on the topic, and it's the only thing I can think of that's on the topic. So that might be worth reviewing. So I'm going to try and remember to do that later. I would really love for someone to explain to me. Maybe it is revealed in the game's text somewhere and I just forgot. I would love to know why this elevator requires a microphone signal to be pointed at a crystal. Because I do not understand under any circumstance why an elevator should require a microphone to be pointed at a crystal signal in order to function. It does not make any sense to me. This was not quite where I wanted to be. I wanted to be up the other elevator, actually, but let me just double check here what's going on again. I kind of forget what I encountered here and what obstacle there was to me doing anything. Oh, right, did this take a different key? I think I just didn't find the key for this. This did not take the spare key, right? Yeah, using this here doesn't do anything. Is there a key in the old factory that I meant to use there? Because it... Is it the knife? Am I meant to use the knife here? No, I'm not meant to pick the lock. I didn't think I would be meant to pick the lock. Nothing has indicated I would need to pick the lock. Is it this? No, I didn't think it'd be the dome key either. And we don't have the Scarlatti key anymore. That would be like the obvious key because, you know, at least this is connected to Scarlatti Towers, but we don't have that here. So it's not that. So we do not have this item. Right, okay. Which is very weird, honestly. Where else would I even be able to find that? I can turn 90 degrees here. Is there anything that I can do here? See, I'm being very slow and thorough now looking around because I am just not... I'm just thinking that I must be missing something like on a screen like that somewhere. Okay, let's go back in the other elevator and just confirm that I turned everything on up here that I can. Because I think there was something up this elevator as well that I could not do, if I remember correctly. Which maybe I can do now, I don't know. And if I cannot do anything here, then I am truly stuck, and I'm just going to have to kind of browse around. Again, I'm in the position where I don't know what to do next. Okay, did I do everything in here? That's on. Yeah, it's active. Interestingly, we can deactivate it. But I don't have a reason to at the moment. Nothing else in here as far as I can tell. I think that was... Was it this one that I couldn't do anything in? There was one of these, I think, that I couldn't quite turn on all the way. Oh, this was the camera power system. This is on, right? I turned this on. Yes. I turned both of these on. Okay. Alright. And this one, I believe I did. Oh, this is just the elevator. Okay, so is that one I've done. That one I've done. You know, I've hit both of those. And what is this thing then, actually? What am I standing in right now? That's just decorative as far as I can tell. Okay. That's just a piece of the fence that's fallen off, I guess. I can look 90 degrees here and get an overview of the whole area. Obviously, nothing close enough to interact with. I can also look out to the ocean. That's nice. Yeah, they do have a fair number of these 90-degree look shots that give you a really good idea of the where you currently are, which is very much appreciated. Oh, right. I can switch that out from being crystals to being, the, like, walkway things. Yes. And I never really made much note of this, but there's like a little demonstration here of what that will look like. Because I'm so stuck on this, let me try switching it to the other thing and see if it makes any difference. Oh, can we not change it back? I don't appear to be able to change it in here. Hold on, did I change it by interacting with these things out here? I don't actually remember. I cannot click on this at all. Yeah, I don't seem to be able to click on this to change it to this. Wait, oh, was it this lever? Hold on, is it this lever? How do I cannot click this lever. Okay. I seem to be unable to change it to the walkway light system. This is really confusing to me because I don't place any, real significance on either one, so I don't know if I'm just missing a button to change it back, or if the game has locked me into what it has decided is the correct decision for a reason that I do not understand. But I'm going to go with that explanation because I don't see a way to change this. Yeah, okay. Well, there's nothing really to do here then. I have to find a key. Where on earth would I find that key? Okay. I thought there was going to be at least one thing to do here. I was remembering that there was kind of stuff to poke at here. But now I feel truly stuck on this. This building off to my left, I think, has served its purpose. I think it was just to fill this area with water. Let me double check that there is nothing left to change. Yeah, it will not even let me walk forward here anymore. Okay? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Alright. No longer relevant. This building over here, I think, is no longer relevant except for the existence of the bulk cabinet that is within it. It was just to activate these elevators using the crystal microphone recordings, which is really dumb. And beyond that, that's all that this computer was for, if I recall. Yeah, it won't even let me press this button anymore. Aha, it's active. It is active. I cannot turn this off? No, I cannot. Alright. Okay. We have been out there already to record the stuff movable cabinet. So yeah, I mean, we're not done here. We still have that one key to put things in, to put a key in, right? And apparently I have not discovered that key. And now I really do not know where to go. I'm gonna go back to the lab HQ and log into the Banox computer system again. Now there were these crates here. I think this is just an early way to learn that these are numbers. Yeah, we cannot access these other shafts, whatever they are, so... And this is where I saw the Harbor Watchtower eons ago. This is why I drew a picture of it. Right, I knew I think there's a picture of it also in the like secret area on this island. But they're also here, and this is probably the initial place I saw it, and was like, that's an actual picture, so it must be really important. And then I encountered lots of actual pictures of things, but yeah. Honestly, yeah, I keep being tempted to, like, look around more, but I've been so thorough with these mines that there is surely nothing outside of the lab HQ that I have not seen. There must not be anything. I've been so slow and picked through this area. Oh yeah, I suppose there's also that emergency transcript. What did that all say? Maybe I can make more sense of it now. Emergency video call. There are all these things that he said that were kind of interrupted. So, change locations of the transportation towers. The transportation towers, I believe, are the ones that we put the Paidas into, right? And there was nothing else to do there. Okay. But he says change locations. Was there something else to do there? Was there another button? Maybe. Okay. A mask is needed to Orange Paida. Yeah, that's the steps that we did downstairs, right where I'm standing. There's a downstairs area, and we did that. And then we took that to the Veltron machine. Yes. So he told us to do that first. We did it almost last, but... and he says, Zypher, talking about the Zypher fish, they, you know, the little machine that's meant to prevent the Zypher fish from getting in, it's active, so I don't know why that's a concern. Lower the Niyelda, that's what I'm trying to do. It's, you know, skipping quite a far bit ahead, but... once the spores are released at the Neyyah heater chamber, sensors will activate, go straight to the Pelska shrine. Now we're supposed... to read a journal after having done that. But yeah, okay. So that gives us a clue that we are going to lower this thing, and we need to go straight to the Pelska Shrine, which, will be right around that area. Small Ox will come to Neyyah. Yep. You must be prepared once activating the bunker teleportation system. Secret portal. Secret portal. That's the secret portal that's, we're going to access by using the Lodvik Tower. Okay. Now go. I shall be waiting for you here at the Jalud docking station on OJ. Okay. Remember when I thought that was going to be like a 5-minute task? Remember when I thought that wasn't going to be the entire game that he was describing there? It sounded like so few steps. And yet, here we are. We've spent the entire game just trying to follow these instructions. That would be much clearer if they weren't interrupted. That one interruption is this entire game. But yeah. Okay. That was just FMVs. I've looked at this computer system so many times. I'm obsessed with this computer system. I keep looking at it again and again, thinking it's going to tell me something new. This is the one that we used to get to the Veltron machine. We've encountered this. Oh, so these are called ocean portals. Yeah, the Point A portal is called an ocean portal. We've seen this in the Neyyah heater chamber. I'm just trying to connect these again to what I've seen, because by now I've seen most of these portal types, even used most of them. We've seen this one, but never gone through any of them. So the transportation towers that we turned on, and let me corroborate this with the emergency video call of the transportation towers. It is what he's talking about. There's 2 of them. We discovered 2 of them and put Paidas in 2 of them. So that must mean that now this is on, right? Like, it is possible to use this type of portal, presumably the one that's just outside of this building, right, is on now because we powered that. The 2 signals, the 2 transportation towers, one of them is here in the mines. The other one was at Minerva Point. Yeah, this we don't have yet. Maybe I should check back up on these. Maybe there's something I missed there that I can click on. This, again, just... there's nothing left there. I've looked so many times at that. I do want to shift this back to the Spore Docks. Because I don't know, I just cannot believe that there's nothing else there. Yeah, this is all turned off. We looked at this last time, nothing will have changed there. Oh, is there... did I see this next one? Oh no, this is the email that's just literally duplicated on the table behind me. Yeah, they should just keep this one in here and remove the paper copy from the game. They should just do that. It'd be easy and it would reduce the amount of text. I still haven't figured out what to do with this. So this is at the Spore collection pools. They have this. Is this something I am meant to interact with? They're obviously, like, super obviously they all have colors, right? And I must have written this down, right? I wrote this down, that these have colors, right? Yeah, I wrote that down in the side column of my sheet of paper. So, that is, I believe, all the information I can gather on that here. And I believe those cameras are just meant to draw my attention to the fact those exist. This is just that area. This tells me nothing at the moment. Yeah, I discovered this already. That was at the other place, in Nerva Point. This is just a solved puzzle, I remember. And this, I believe, it was to activate the binoculars, which we did. Yeah. We turn this on. I don't quite get this still. Current location of binocular power. It was on the full circle before. Now it is on the half circle, and obviously that's because we changed the whole setup, right? We changed, like, where the, we used the diverter tower to divert the power to the binoculars, and now they're giving the power from there. Yeah, they mentioned the diverter tower in here, in fact. Which I didn't know what they were talking about at first. But I do not quite get this. That they previously had a different power source, and now they have this one. But why do they have these particular fuse symbols? I do not get that. Like, is there something really obvious about the fuses that I'm missing? The fuse symbols are just kind of everywhere. They're all over the place, and they don't have any, like, inherent meaning to me, as far as I can tell. Okay. I want to review... Wait, hold on. Is that a door I can actually go in to my right? No. Those are not clickable. Okay. Hold on, what's that symbol up there? Oh, it's just a plant symbol. Yeah. Right, that's that clue. I already know what that clue is. Hold on, I'm gonna actually just, I'm gonna read some of my journals here, and just see if anything sticks out to me at all. Let's see. No, see, there has to be a vault cabinet here because he says the vault cabinet on Falitsu Island must remain accessible. This, like, you know, explicitly states there is a vault cabinet. There's a vault cabinet somewhere. I'm missing it. I do not know where. I've looked all over that dome. I didn't see it there. Man, this puzzle. I realize, you know, this is like an unrealistic thing for them to actually do now. Okay, I think I understand, right, why that area has to be at daytime. Because there's actors there, right? There's videos there of people, so it has to be daytime lighting, right? Like, it has to be lit like a daylight scene, because there are people there, right? And the lighting on them is daytime lighting. I get that. But here's how I would fix that puzzle, right? So, the side of the Minerva point, right? Like, if I were designing this puzzle from the ground up, right? This is how I would do it, because it's actually perfect, right? The side of Pernerva Point, where the like the Pelska portal activator is, and the area where we're going to trap small ops and all of that, right? The sun will be over there, but it'll be sunset, right? So that side of the map, it'll still be daylight lit, right? It'll still appear like daytime because the sun will be over there, but it's like sunset or sunrise, right? The opposite side of the sky, where like the Volk Tower is and like the temple there is and all of that side of the map, right? It's turning to nighttime, right? Because the sun is on the opposite side of the sky, and so that side of the sky, it's starting to become darker, it's starting to become night. And so some stars are visible on that side of the sky, right? And then the constellation number machine, it's a telescope, and it actually shows the stars in the sky, right? But some of the buttons, they don't work. Some of the numbers you can't learn because it's not actually nighttime yet, right? It's just sunset. So the telescope can't actually find all of the constellations because it's not nighttime, right? And so that would like provide like an in-universe explanation for why you cannot learn all of the numbers, because not all of them are actually visible in the sky. Like, it's a constellation number system, right? Is it really too much to ask that we can see the constellations in the sky, like the actual stars? Like, wouldn't it be so much cooler if it was actually a telescope where we could see the stars and not just like a machine where some of the switches don't work for some random reason that's not explained, like Vamir is just bad at building machines, right? Like, no, it would be so much cooler if it was like a telescope where we see the constellations through the telescope, so we see the actual stars. And the reason that we can't learn all of them is just because it's not nighttime yet, so it can't find all the stars. Like, that would be way better way more natural of a way to do it than the way they did it, but, now at this point they would require re-rendering out that entire scene, so I don't expect that to like happen. But like if I were designing this from the ground up, it's just obvious to me, like just do it that way. And it's surprising to me that they didn't commit to that idea. It almost feels like they did design it to be a telescope, but for some reason, probably because the actors, they decided it had to be daytime, and then they just couldn't work out a compromise that made it work good. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's like the first thing I noticed about it is that it's a constellation number system, but it's not at night. It's really too bad. Wait a minute. The symbol which represents Falitsu Island is a full circle. No, it isn't. It's a flat line. All the others are broken circles. Wait, so you're saying these correspond not just to the fuses, but also to the islands as well? Like, so there's already an association with the locations having a particular symbol. Like for Falitsu, it's a flat line. For the towers, it's like a triangle with a dot in the middle. They also each have unique rulers, and they also have unique fuse symbols. Oh, is that why the fuses have colors associated with them in the camera system? It's the color of the portal for each area. Does that check out? Yeah, that checks out. Because I wrote this one, the circle with the dot in the middle is red. The portal to Falitsu Island is red. So that's that association. The colors with the fuses. So, I mean, it's difficult to describe these symbols, but the top half circle is green. That's Scarlidi. The full circle is red. That's Falitsu. the right circle is yellow. That is Glorfiak mines. The left circle is blue, so that's Spore Point. I just know that off by heart now because I've gone through those portals so many times. So, yeah, I can definitely say that. I can just know off the top of my head like which fuse corresponds to which island. Yeah, makes perfect sense. Okay, he talks about the key here for point A. You get that key from the Spore Docks. Okay. So I need to solve that puzzle with the Spore Docks and putting, some inventory item there to get the key for the Niyelda Activation console. I might have already known that, but I'm just reviewing. So, there's something I can do with that. What am I meant to do there? What am I meant to do? Do I have to do something with the spores? I tried putting them there, it didn't work. This note drives me insane, because it feels like a hint. And I've seen these things that he's talking about, but I have not seen this location. I have no idea where this location is. Is this a location I can access? It doesn't look like a part of anything that I recognize. I don't remember seeing this location. It's implied that this is Falitsu Pod number 4, but I didn't, I've been there numerous times and not seen anything else to inspect there. Yeah, that's about that. I've seen that. They specifically say spores inserted inside cabinet. The sleeping tower area. Okay, this did not register before, but it's specifically labeled in the map I just read where the sleeping tower area is. It's not where I just was, where all the mushrooms are growing around those pools. It is, it's further north of that. I need to look back there then. I need to look around there, because that seems like a hint. To work most effectively on the new remotely powered lanterns. Okay. You know what? I'm desperate to solve these mushrooms. I'm gonna use the, now that I know that there's a active portal near here, I'm gonna use the Pelska portal to get there quickly. Yeah, so in here, go here, and then, turn this way. Yeah, we can use it here, I believe. Oh. This is not an active point? I thought this was. I thought this was one of them. Wasn't this the exact screen pictured in a journal? Okay, whatever. I'll just walk there. I was really like, oh, that's why that building exists. And then... I guess not. Because there is no active point there. So, I don't know. Okay, sleeping tower area, as fast as possible. Is there a mushroom or something there that I missed? It didn't register until just now what that meant. That means the area with the beach there, where there's the rock that opens, and reveals a secret hidden door that, I keep complaining remains open, and I wish I could close it again. why would they specifically write sleeping tower area, right? It's gotta be something that I can act on, right? Something that I can actually do. Okay, so this is, you know, the sleeping tower area, supposedly. And I'm just going to click all around here because I've been given such a specific hint. He did also say near the portal. So these ones specifically are the ones that he was talking about, these mushrooms here. Is this really just lore? Like, it feels like, you know, it's literally on a note with that machine in it. Like, I gotta be able to do something. Oh, here we go. Here we go! That's what I need. I did not see this screen. You really have to read that note and know that this is the sleeping tower area. Okay. You have to connect that. Okay. Now this is gonna become possible. Hold on, there's an active point right over here. I want to go to... Where do I want to go? I actually want to go to the heater pools. Because if I go to Minerva Point, I'll not be able to go to the portal that I want. Yeah, I don't want this, I want this. So back here again. Go around. We can now use this cabinet, and it's going to give me the key to lower the Niyelda, which is very scary. I knew it was going to be... I had to pick up something mushroom, like some sort of mushroom spores, right? I knew that was going to be it. I absolutely knew. You saw me walking around at the beginning of this episode just looking for them, right? But I just, you know... I just didn't, like, you would not think to look there specifically unless you had read that note. And had looked at a map recently enough to remember where the sleeping tower area is. Okay. You. Now I know what to put here. It's this. Ah, okay. Right, so we could not go this way because the lights were off, but now we can go this way. Gotcha.